The ulna is one of the two long bones in the forearm. It is on the side opposite the thumb, extends from the elbow to the wrist, and runs parallel to the radius, which it exceeds in length and size. In anatomical position, when the arms are down at the sides of the body and the palms of the hands face forward, the ulna is located at the side of the forearm closest to the body. The bone may break due to excessive weight or impact. Structure. The ulna is broader close to the elbow, and narrows as it approaches the wrist. Close to the elbow, the ulna has a bony process, the ʻʌlnə process, a hook-like structure that fits into the ʻʌlnə fossa of the humerus. This prevents hyperextension and forms a hinge joint with the trochlea of the humerus. There is also a radial notch for the head of the radius, and the ulnar tuberosity to which muscles attach. Close to the wrist, the ulna has a styloid process. Histology. The ulna is a long bone. The long, narrow medullary cavity of the ulna is enclosed in a strong wall of cortical tissue which is thickest along the interosseous border and dorsal surface. At the extremities, the compact layer thins. The compact layer is continued onto the back of the ʻʌlnə as a plate of close spongy bone with lamellae parallel. From the inner surface of this plate and the compact layer below it, trabeculae arch forward toward the ʻʌlnə and coronoid and cross other trabeculae, passing backward over the medullary cavity from the upper part of the shaft below the coronoid. Below the coronoid process there is a small area of compact bone from which trabeculae curve upward to end obliquely to the surface of the semilunar notch, which is coated with a thin layer of compact bone. The trabeculae at the lower end have a more longitudinal direction. Development. The ulna is ossified from three centers, one each for the body, the inferior extremity, and the top of the ʻʌlnə. Ossification begins near the middle of the body of the ulna, about the 8th week of fetal life, and soon extends through the greater part of the bone. At birth, the ends are cartilaginous. About the 4th year, a center appears in the middle of the head, and soon extends into the ulnar styloid process. About the 10th year, a center appears in the ʻʌlnə near its extremity, the chief part of this process being formed by an upward extension of the body. The upper epiphysis joins the body about the 16th, the lower about the 20th year. Function. Joints. The ulna forms a part of the wrist joint and elbow joints. Specifically, the ulna articulates with trochlea of the humerus. At the right side elbow is a hinged joint with semilunar trochlea notch of the ulna. The radius, near the elbow, is a pivot joint. This allows the radius to cross over the ulna in pronation. The distal radius, where it fits into the ulnar notch. The radius along its length via the interosseous membrane that forms a syndesmosis joint. Muscle attachment. Clinical significance. Fractures. Specific fracture types of the ulna include Monteggia fracture, a fracture of the proximal third of the ulna with the dislocation of the head of the radius. Hume fracture, a fracture of the ʻʌlnə with an associated anterior dislocation of the radial head. Conservative management is possible for ulnar fractures when they are located in the distal two-thirds, only involve the shaft, with no shortening, less than 10 degrees angulation and less than 50% displacement. In such cases, a cast should be applied that goes above the elbow. In other animals, in four-legged animals, the radius is the main load-bearing bone of the lower forelimb, and the ulna is important primarily for muscular attachment. In many mammals, the ulna is partially or wholly fused with the radius, and may therefore not exist as a separate bone. However, even in extreme cases of fusion, such as in horses, the ʻʌlnə process is still present, albeit as a projection from the upper radius. Gallery. Position of ulna. Animation. Right posterior human radius and ulna. Human arm bones diagram. Cross-section through the middle of the forearm.